smoky rabbit Maddams muffin with spicy brown, bit of cheese, all good to go. So to make my little bit of minced rabbit meat, I'm gonna whiz the majority of the flesh off these rabbit legs. Now, that's not the easiest job in the world, but to be honest, if we leave a little bit behind, it's just gonna make any resulting rabbit broth or rabbit stock taste even better. So I'm not gonna be too concerned about it. I'm just gonna go in with the knife at the side of the rabbit leg, cut around, take off that nice big meaty bit first. Watch out for the bones. We really don't want any bones in there. The mincer won't like it very much. I'll just make this as small and easy for my little home mincer to cope with. The attachment on the Kenwood isn't that brilliant, but it does do the job, so just help it out a bit. So because this has been cured and smoked already, I don't need to worry about adding too much in the way of seasoning. I've also got a nice little spicy sauce that's going to go on it at the end once it's cooked. So I'm going to add a few little thyme leaves, a few fresh thyme leaves just to pick it up a little bit, but that's about it. That's the only sort of super fresh thing going in here. You can obviously add rosemary or savory or chives or whatever, or just, you know, leave it as smoky rabbit. That'll also be fine. I'm going to give that a little stir together. Lovely. And I'm going to press it into a little ring here, which I'm just going to put a little drizzle of olive oil, stop it sticking before I press the meat in there. And whenever you mince meat, really, you want to do a larger batch, so this you lose half of it to the mincer otherwise, so wouldn't normally make such a small amount, but you know, one portion, all that's required today. So press that in firmly. Don't want it too thick because I want it to cook really quite quickly. In our little homage to a fast food version. Now, I'll just let that little smoked rabbit patty have 10 minutes to rest in the fridge. This is my little smoky rabbit burger. For all it's worth, it's set nicely in the fridge. Okay, that's why it's important to just chill it for a little bit once you've pressed it, because that sticks all the proteins together and stops it falling apart when you cook it, hopefully. That's ready to cook. We've kind of got to do a few things all at once here. So got some nice tasty homemade muffins here. I'm going to use one of those. I'm just going to pop it in the toaster to warm up. I'm going to add a little tiny bit of butter, because you should never miss the opportunity to add a bit of butter if you can. Unless you sort of don't like butter, in which case you could use something else. And this is the quickest sauce you'll ever come across. 3 standard refrigerator ingredients. Brown sauce, has to be HP, just has to be. Ketchup, got to be Heinz, not sponsored by them, but it's the nicest one. And a bit of harissa paste, okay? Don't use the naff one from the supermarket. This one's worth finding a slightly better version if you can. So I've got about 2 tablespoons of that, about a dessert spoon of ketchup and a teaspoon of harissa. And guess what? We just mix them all together with a little tiny pinch of mixed dried herbs. Okay, don't tell anyone about that recipe. It's a family secret. I don't want anyone else finding out. And it's ideal. It's the perfect spicy thing for this kind of gig. Round rabbit. So it might look like a sort of perfectly round semi-industrial egg, but it's actually, you know, it's coming from my chickens in my garden. I'll cook my free-range chicken eggs in a round ring if I want to. Very nearly ready to assemble this little beauty, but before we do, and while there's still plenty of heat in the egg, just going to add a bit of grated mature cheddar on there. There's an ongoing debate between me and a friend of mine as to whether or not that should be a slice of Kraft cheese processed nonsense, but for me, this is as far as I'm prepared to go. Toasted muffin. I'll make sure I got the bottom. I'm going to put the whole little show there onto the bottom one. Make sure those leftover bits of cheese and any resting juices from the rabbit end up on there. And then a little bit of spicy brown, only a little bit inside because you want a bit on the edge for dipping. I know again that's going to start a bit of a debate, but a little bit of spicy brown on the inside. What goes on there? Oh, pop that on there. Look at that little beauty. Hey, quite a bit of effort, but a little slightly different style to the dish. It's not that elegant. That's a cut it in half, stuff it in your chops kind of job. Smoky rabbit Maddams muffin with spicy brown, bit of cheese, all good to go. Just gonna cut that in half, stuff it in your chops. Yum. If you enjoyed what you've just seen, and what you've just seen is what we've just done, not something else, then subscribe here. Thanks.